Let's do this, bro. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back, man. You know what we doing. Alright. Settle down. Settle down, people. Let's just jump into it, bro. It's 4 in the morning. I love it. Let's get it. Have your books out. Have your books ready. Have your drinks ready. Feel me? That ain't propelled, but it's alright.
5.
Chapter 5, man. Special knowledge. Sign me up, bro. Y'all can see good? Alright, bet. Sit on.
Specialized knowledge. Personal experiences or observations. The fourth step toward riches. There are two kinds of knowledge. One is general, the other is specialized.
Hold on. Pause. Personal. Okay, let's run that back, bro.
Experiences or observations.
Personal experiences or observations. The fourth step towards riches. It's just important that we understand the title. You feel me? Word. Let's get it. Specialized knowledge. There are two kinds of knowledge. I'm going in. One is general. The other is specialized. General knowledge, no matter how great in quality and quantity, or
The fourth step
you know me, man.
Toward riches. There are two kinds of knowledge. One is general, the other is specialized. General knowledge, no matter how great in quantity or variety it may be, is of but little use in the accumulation of money. The faculties of the great universities possess, in the aggregate, practically every form of general knowledge known to civilization.
You know what aggregate means? Or do I need to aggregate? Put that on the spelling bee. Aggregate. I gotta know this stuff, man. I gotta know this stuff, cuh. What does aggregate mean?
Aggregate basically means a total or a whole made up of smaller parts. Like, if you add up several numbers, the result is the aggregate. It's like rolling individual dough balls into one big loaf.
Okay, thank you, cuh.
No problem.
I guess that's it. So aggregate is you feel me? Dough balls, multiple dough balls into one dough ball. Pizza. Let's go.
Accumulation of money. The faculties
The accumulation of money
of the great universities possess, in the aggregate, practically every form of.
Okay. Where I understood that second time around. Accumulation of money. The faculties of the great universities possess in the aggregate. So all of those together is what aggregate means. Word. Now we're learning.
Faculties of the great universities possess, in the aggregate, practically every form of general knowledge known to civilization. Most of the professors have but little or no money.
In colleges, most of the professors have little or no money. Insane, bro. And y'all teaching me?
They specialize on teaching knowledge, but they do not specialize on the organization or the use of knowledge. Knowledge will not attract money unless.
He had to read it like, knowledge will not attract money. Teachers teach it, but they don't know. You feel me? Just because they know of it don't mean that they got it like that. So knowledge will not attract money. You can know everything in the world and still be broke. It's crazy to me.
It is organized and intelligently directed through practical plans of action to the definite end of accumulation of money. Lack of understanding of this fact has been the source of confusion to millions of people who falsely believe that knowledge is power. It is nothing of the sort.
Ooh, knowledge is power. millions of people who falsely believe that knowledge is power. So he's saying that's not right. It's wrong. It is nothing of this sort. Knowledge is only potential power. Cooking.
Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes power only when and if it is organized into definite plans of action and directed to a definite end. This missing link in all systems of education known to civilization today may be found in the failure of educational institutions to teach their students how to organize and use knowledge after they acquire it.
Okay. This missing link in all systems of education known to civilization today may be found in the failure of educational institutions to teach their students how to organize and use knowledge after they acquire it. So the missing link. Alright. You feel me? You don't get it, I don't get it. We gonna get it though. Many people make the mistake of assuming that.
Many people make the mistake of assuming that because Henry Ford had but little schooling, he is not a man of education. Those who make this mistake do not know Henry Ford, nor do they understand the real meaning of the word educate. That word is derived from the Latin word educo, meaning to educe, to draw out, to develop from within. An educated man is not, necessarily, one who has an abundance of general or specialized knowledge. An educated man is one who has so developed the faculties of his mind that he may acquire anything he wants, or its equivalent, without violating the rights of others. Henry Ford comes well within the meaning of this definition. During the World War, a Chicago newspaper published certain editorials in which, among other statements, Henry Ford was called an ignorant pacifist. Mr. Ford objected to the statements and brought suit against the paper for libeling him. When the suit was tried in the courts, the attorneys for the paper pleaded justification and placed Mr. Ford himself on the witness stand for the purpose of proving to the jury that he was ignorant. The attorneys asked Mr. Ford a great variety of questions, all of them intended to prove, by his own evidence, that while he might possess considerable specialized knowledge pertaining to the manufacture of automobiles, he was, in the main, ignorant. Mr. Ford was plied with such questions as the following. Who was Benedict Arnold? And how many soldiers did the British send over to America to put down the rebellion of 1776?
Nah, they tripping, bro.
In answer to the last question, Mr. Ford replied, I do not know the exact number of soldiers the British sent over, but I have heard that it was a considerably larger number than ever went back. Finally, Mr. Ford became tired of this line of questioning, and in reply to a particularly offensive question, he leaned over, pointed his finger at the lawyer who had asked the question, and said, If I should really want to answer the foolish question you have just asked, or any of the other questions you have been asking me, let me remind you that I have a row of electric push buttons on my desk, and by pushing the right button, I can summon to my aid men who can answer any question I desire to ask concerning the business to which I am devoting most of my efforts. Now, will you kindly tell me why I should clutter up my mind with general knowledge for the purpose of being able to answer questions when I have men around me who can supply any knowledge I require? There certainly was good.
That's like our equivalent to like just having AI. You feel me? Hey, bro, what's that mean? Looking at that's crazy, bro. It's just like that. It's crazy.
Logic to that reply. That answer floored the lawyer. Every person in the courtroom realized it was the answer, not of an ignorant man, but of a man of education. Any man is educated who knows where to get knowledge when he needs it, and how to organize that knowledge into definite plans of action. Through the assistance of his mastermind group, Henry Ford had at his command all the specialized knowledge he needed to enable him to become one of the wealthiest men in America. It was not essential that he have this knowledge in his own mind. Surely no person who has sufficient inclination and intelligence to read a book of this nature can possibly miss the significance of this illustration.
I didn't miss that. I understood. You hear that? It's 4 a.m, bro. Who is? Never mind. I understood that. I hope you did. Lock it in. Lock it in. Run that back. It gotta be the garbage man. What day is it today? It's Wednesday. I don't know.
Before you can be sure of your ability to transmute desire into its monetary equivalent, you will require specialized knowledge of the service, merchandise, or profession which you intend to offer in return for fortune. Perhaps you may need much more specialized knowledge than you have the ability or the inclination to acquire, and if this should be true, you may bridge your weakness through the aid of your mastermind group.
Ooh. This is what we are. We're that mastermind group. We'll have to hop in some Discord calls soon.
Andrew Carnegie stated that he, personally, knew nothing about the technical end of the steel business. Moreover, he did not particularly care to know anything about it. The specialized knowledge which he required for the manufacture and marketing of steel, he found available through the individual units of his mastermind group. The accumulation of great fortunes calls for power, and power is acquired through highly organized and intelligently directed specialized knowledge. But that knowledge does not necessarily have to be in the possession of the man who accumulates the fortune. The preceding paragraph should give hope and encouragement to the man with ambition to accumulate a fortune, who has not possessed himself of the necessary education to supply such specialized knowledge as he may require. Men sometimes go through life suffering from inferiority complexes because they are not men of education. The man who can organize and direct a mastermind group of men who possess knowledge useful in the accumulation of money is just as much a man of education as any man in the group. Remember this: if you suffer from a feeling of inferiority because your schooling has been limited, Thomas Edison had only 3 months of schooling during his entire life.
That's crazy.
He did not lack education, neither did he die poor. Henry Ford had less than a 6th grade schooling, but he has managed to do pretty well by himself financially. Specialized knowledge is among the most plentiful and the cheapest forms of service which may be had. If you doubt this, consult the payroll of any university. It pays.
Specialized knowledge is among the most plentiful and the cheapest forms of service which may be had. If you doubt this, consult the payroll of any university. I think plentiful. What does that mean, right? That's what does plentiful mean?
Means there's a lot of something, more than enough. For example, food was plentiful at the party.
All right, thanks, Ka.
Yeah?
What the fuck trying to say? Yeah. Plentiful means a lot. Specialized knowledge is amongst the most plentiful. There's a lot of it, and the cheapest forms of service which may be had. It pays to know how to purchase knowledge. Let's keep going.
To know how to purchase knowledge. First of all, decide the sort of specialized knowledge you require and the purpose for which it is needed. To a large extent, your major purpose in life, the goal toward which you are working, will help determine what knowledge you need. With this question settled, your next move requires that you have accurate information concerning dependable sources of knowledge. The more important of these are: A. One's own experience and education. B. Experience and education available through cooperation of others. Mastermind Alliance.
We might gotta run that back, cuz I'm not gonna lie. My head is somewhere else right now, bro. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm not locked in 100%. I'm thinking about other things right now. Other ideas. Other books. I can't even lock in. I can't even be here. Bro, I gotta be here, bro. We're reading this book right now. I'm over here thinking about the next book. I don't know why.
Is needed. To a large extent, your major purpose in life, the goal toward which you are working, will help determine what knowledge you need. With this question settled, your next move requires that you have accurate information concerning dependable sources of knowledge. The more important of these are A. One's own experience and education. B. Experience and education available through cooperation of others. Mastermind Alliance. C. Colleges and universities. D. Public libraries. Through books and periodicals in which may be found all the knowledge organized by civilization. E. Special training courses. Through night schools and home study schools in particular. As knowledge is acquired, it must be organized and put into use for a definite purpose through practical plans. Knowledge has no value except that which can be gained from its application toward some worthy end. This is one reason why college degrees are not valued more highly. They represent nothing but miscellaneous knowledge. If you contemplate taking additional schooling, first determine the purpose for which you want the knowledge you are seeking, then learn where this particular sort of knowledge can be obtained from reliable sources. Successful men in all callings never stop acquiring specialized knowledge related to their major purpose, business, or profession. Those who are not successful usually make the mistake of believing the knowledge acquiring period ends when one finishes school. The truth is that schooling does but little more than to put one in the way of learning how to acquire practical knowledge. With this changed world, which began at the end of the economic collapse, came also astounding changes in educational requirements. The order of the day is specialization. This truth was emphasized by Robert P. Moore, Secretary of Appointments of Columbia University.
Okay, now I'm locked in.
Specialists most sought. Particularly sought after by employing companies are candidates who have specialized in some field. Business school graduates with training in accounting and statistics, engineers of all varieties, journalists, architects, chemists, and also outstanding leaders and activity men of the senior class. The man who has been active on the campus, whose personality is such that he gets along with all kinds of people, and who has done an adequate job with his studies, has a most decided edge over the strictly academic student. Some of these, because of their all-around qualifications, have received several offers of positions, a few of them as many as 6. In departing from the conception that the straight-A student was invariably the one to get the choice of the better jobs, Mr. Moore said that most companies look not only to academic records, but to activity records and personalities of the students. One of the largest industrial companies, the leader in its field, in writing to Mr. Moore concerning prospective seniors at the college, said, "We are interested primarily in finding men who can make exceptional progress in management work. For this reason, we emphasize qualities of character, intelligence, and personality far more than specific educational background." Apprenticeship proposed.
It was good. This is valid, bro. Sometimes it's not about A's and B's. I'm not gonna lie, I was an A's and B's myself. Feel me? Beta club, on the roll. Not to my own horn or nothing. But like, it's valid, bro. It's not all about that. They look at more.
Proposing a system of apprenticing students in offices, stores, and industrial occupations during the summer vacation, Mr. Moore asserts that after the first 2 or 3 years of college, every student should be asked to choose a definite future course and to call a halt if he has been merely pleasantly drifting without purpose through an unspecialized academic curriculum. Colleges and universities must face the practical consideration that all professions and occupations now demand specialists, he said, urging that educational institutions accept more direct responsibility for vocational guidance. One of the most reliable and practical sources of knowledge available to those who need specialized schooling is the night schools operated in most large cities. The correspondence schools give specialized training anywhere the U.S. mails go, on all subjects that can be taught by the extension method. One advantage of home study training is the flexibility of the study program, which permits one to study during spare time. Another stupendous advantage of home study training, if the school is carefully chosen, is the fact that most courses offered by home study schools carry with them generous privileges of consultation, which can be of priceless value to those needing specialized knowledge. No matter where you live, you can share the benefits. Anything acquired without effort and without cost is generally unappreciated, often discredited. Perhaps this is why we get so little from our marvelous opportunity in public schools. The self-discipline one receives from a definite program of specialized study makes up to some extent for the wasted opportunity when knowledge was available without cost. Correspondence schools are highly organized business institutions. Their tuition fees are so low that they are forced to insist upon prompt payments. Being asked to pay, whether the student makes good grades or poor, has the effect of causing one to follow through with the course when he would otherwise drop it. The correspondence schools have not stressed this point sufficiently, for the truth is that their collection departments constitute the very finest sort of training on decision, promptness, action, and the habit of finishing that which one begins.
Bro, this is good stuff, bro. I think I know why I'm getting so many ideas right now. Because I wasn't getting any ideas yesterday when I wasn't reading. I get to reading, all the ideas start to hit. I need a pen and paper. Because I was probably supposed to write it down, bro. Because as you read this book, I forgot. You do get smacked in the face with a couple ideas, bro. And those ideas need to be written down. Feel me? Alright, so if you had any ideas, I hope you paused and wrote those ideas down. Because that's the only way we're going to get anywhere. Bro. That's the only way we're going to get anywhere, bro. I don't want to forget them. For me. Okay. Alright. We're on to something, bro. Just know that. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, man. I really do. Listen. And unless you write it down, it's not gonna work. Okay? Okay.
We the best music!
Let's do it, bro. Let's do it, bro. Just had to write down a little bit of that, a little bit of this, bro. Specialized knowledge. Specializing right now.
I learned this from experience more than 25 years ago. I enrolled for a home study course in advertising. After completing 8 or 10 lessons, I stopped studying, but the school did not stop sending me bills. Moreover, it insisted upon payment, whether I kept up my studies or not. I decided that if I had to pay for the course, which I had legally obligated myself to do, I should complete the lessons and get my money's worth. I felt, at the time, that the collection system of the school was somewhat too well organized, but I learned later in life that it was a valuable part of my training for which no charge had been made. Being forced to pay, I went ahead and completed the course. Later in life, I discovered that the efficient collection system of that school had been worth much in the form of money earned because of the training in advertising I had so reluctantly taken. We have in this country what is said to be the greatest public school system in the world. We have invested fabulous sums for fine buildings. We have provided...
All right. Gotta run that back. I'm getting so many ideas right now. It's actually not even funny. And not even so many. Just big ones, good ones. You feel me? Some that are for sure going to work. It's insane.
Valuable part of my training for
Valuable part of my mindset right now.
which no charge had been made. Being forced to pay, I went ahead and completed the course.
Yeah.
Later in life, I discovered that the efficient collection system of that school had been worth much in the form of money earned because of the training in advertising I had so reluctantly taken. We have in this country what is said to be the greatest public school system in the world. We have invested fabulous sums for fine buildings. We have provided convenient transportation for children living in the rural districts, so they may attend the best schools. But there is one astounding weakness to this marvelous system. It is free. One of the strange things about human beings is that they value only that which has a price. The free schools of America and the free public libraries do not impress people because they are free.
Dang.
This is the major reason why...
I gotta read that myself. The free schools of America and the free public libraries do not impress people because they are free.
Falling, dreaming.
We gotta do better, man. We gotta do better, bro. This is true though. People don't care about free stuff. You feel me? Okay. Right there. Yeah, right there. Yeah. They don't care about free stuff, bro.
so many people find it necessary to acquire additional...
This is the major reason why so many people find it necessary to acquire additional training after they quit school and go to work. It is also one of the major reasons why employees give greater consideration to employees who take home study courses, not like take home study courses, but take home study courses. It is also the major reason why employers give greater consideration to employees who take home study courses. That's valid. That's valid, bro.
training after they quit school and go to work. It is also one of the major reasons why employers give greater consideration to employees who take home study courses. They have learned from experience that any person who has the ambition to give up a part of his spare time to studying at home has in him those qualities which make for leadership. This recognition is...
Okay, are we not doing it right now? I'm a leader, bro. Damn, bro. Thanks, bro, for saying I'm a leader, cuh. Come on, bro. At least that.
not a charitable gesture. It is sound business judgment
What?
upon...
Where we at? Charitable gesture. That's what he said. It's recognized, not a charitable. Okay, right there.
the part of the employers.
We're in the
As
back.
qualities which make for leadership.
Mhm.
This recognition is not a charitable gesture. It is sound business judgment upon the part of the employers. There is one weakness in people for which there is no remedy. It is the universal weakness of lack of ambition.
It is the universal, bro. There is a weakness in people for which there is no remedy. That means we can't help you, bro. We can't help you. You can't take no pills for this, bro. And then you ask, what is it? It is the universal weakness of lack of ambition. Falling, dreaming. Bro, if you don't come on, bro. The lack of ambition is just something to do. Like, you don't want to do nothing with your life, with your time. No type of moving with any urgency. Just like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do, man. I don't care. Oh, y'all can't. Oh, y'all want me to turn it up? Oh, bro, y'all should have said that, bro. I just turned it up. I just turned it up. Lack of ambition, bro. You gotta want to do something with your life, bro. All right, I turned it up. It should be louder now.
Persons, especially
Don't even worry about it. I got you. For real. Told you.
salaried people who schedule of lack of ambition. Persons, especially salaried people who schedule their spare time to provide for home study, seldom remain at the bottom very long. Their action opens the way for the upward climb, removes many obstacles from their path, and gains the friendly interest of those who have the power to put them in the way of opportunity. The home study method of training is especially suited to the needs of employed people who find, after leaving school, that they must acquire additional specialized knowledge, but cannot spare the time to go back to school. The changed economic conditions prevailing since the Depression have made it necessary for thousands of people to find additional or new sources of income. For the majority of these, the solution to their problem may be found only by acquiring specialized knowledge. Many will be forced to change their occupations entirely. When a merchant finds that a certain line of merchandise is not selling, he usually supplants it with another that is in demand. The person whose business is that of marketing personal services must also be an efficient merchant. If his services do not bring adequate returns in one occupation, he must change to another, where broader opportunities are available. Stuart Austin Weir prepared himself as a construction engineer and followed this line of work until the Depression limited his market to where it did not give him the income he required. He took inventory of himself, decided to change his profession to law, went back to school, and took special courses by which he prepared himself as a corporation lawyer. Despite the fact the Depression had not ended, he completed his training, passed the bar examination, and quickly built a lucrative law practice in Dallas, Texas. In fact, he is turning away clients. Just to keep the record straight and to anticipate the alibis of those who will say, "I couldn't go to school because I have a family to support," or "I'm too old," I will add the information that Mr. Weir was past 40 and married when he went back to school. Moreover, by carefully selecting highly specialized courses in colleges best prepared to teach the subjects chosen, Mr. Weir completed in 2 years the work for which the majority of law students require 4 years. It pays to know how to purchase knowledge. The person who stops studying merely because he has finished school is forever hopelessly doomed to mediocrity, no matter what may be his calling.
That's
The
so
way
valid, bro.
of success is the way of continuous pursuit of knowledge.
That's so valid. The person who stops studying merely because he has finished school is forever hopelessly doomed to mediocrity. You know, mediocrity, meteor showers. No matter what may be his calling, no matter what may be his calling, he's doomed to mediocrity, which means you don't know what that means? Oh. Let me just ask a friend. What does mediocrity mean?
I think you mean mediocrity. That means being average or unremarkable, kind of middle of the road. If you literally meant mediocrity,
No, I
that's
meant
not a
that. I
standard
meant what you
word.
just said. I meant,
Ah,
yeah.
yeah,
Mm?
no worries. That's mediocrity, plain and simple.
Mediocrity. Yeah. What does that mean again?
That's just the state of being average. Not great,
I'm
not
talking
terrible.
about mediocrity.
Yes, mediocrity. The condition of being average or ordinary. Nothing outstanding, good, or bad.
Thanks, cuz.
Anytime.
Mediocre. You don't want to be mediocre, dude. No matter what his calling is, you're going to be mediocre, bro, if you don't continue the knowledge. The way of success is the way of continuous pursuit of knowledge. Man, that's just so good, bro.
Let us consider a specific instance. During the Depression, a salesman in a grocery store found himself without a position.
Hold on. Run that back. Let us consider a specific. Okay, he going to tell a little story time. During the. Okay, I just wanted to make sure y'all knew we were going into story mode right now.
During the Depression, a salesman in a grocery store found himself without a position. Having had some bookkeeping experience, he took a special course in accounting, familiarized himself with all the latest bookkeeping and office equipment, and went into business for himself. Starting with the grocer for whom he had formerly worked, he made contracts with more than 100 small merchants to keep their books at a very nominal monthly fee. His idea was so practical that he soon found it necessary to set up a portable office in a light delivery truck, which he equipped with modern bookkeeping machinery. He now has a fleet of these bookkeeping offices on wheels and employs a large staff of assistants, thus providing small merchants with accounting service equal to the best that money can buy, at very nominal cost. Specialized knowledge plus imagination were the ingredients.
That was a story time. Unemployed, he knew a little bit, he went to go figure out some more, and then he came up with his own business. His idea was so practical that he soon found it necessary to set up a portable office in a light delivery truck, which he equipped it with modern bookkeeping machinery. He now has a fleet of these bookkeeping offices on wheels and employs a large staff. He's up.
All this money on me make me wanna poop.
He figured it out, bro. He figured it out. That's good. That's good. I think that's the end of that story time. Back to it.
That went into this specialized knowledge plus imagination were the ingredients that went into this unique and successful business. Last year, the owner of that business paid an income tax of almost 10 times as much as was paid by the merchant for whom he worked when the Depression forced upon him a temporary adversity which proved to be a blessing in disguise.
A temporary adversity which proved to be a blessing in disguise. I think he's talking about the Depression, who had the homie, he had to switch the mindset and get to thinking, how am I going to make this money by tomorrow? And then he figured that out. And then he paid more taxes than he ever paid before because he got more than he ever made before. You feel me? Word. The beginning of this successful business was an idea. That's good.
The beginning of this successful business was an idea. Inasmuch as I had the privilege of supplying the
Inasmuch. I never. Gang, that gotta be a typo. Right? Yo. What does INASMUCH mean?
Inasmuch. Kind of like because or to the extent that. It's pretty formal though.
I didn't know that was a word.
Yeah, it's real. It's just not super common these days. You probably see it more in old books or legal writing.
Yeah, I am reading the old book. It is in an old book, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to use it at all. Plain words work just fine.
All right, thanks, cuz.
Sure thing.
Yeah, I'll call you back tomorrow, man. In as much, it's crazy to me, bro. In as much, we might have to start using it. I don't know. It look crazy, bro. It look like a bunch of letters put together. In as much, but also means because or something like that. That's what he said. I don't know.
Employed salesman with
Run that
the
back.
idea. Inasmuch as I had the privilege of supplying the unemployed salesman with that idea, I now assume the further privilege of suggesting another idea, which has within it the possibility of even greater income. Also the possibility of rendering useful service to thousands of people who badly need that service. The idea was suggested by the salesman who gave up selling and went into the business of keeping books on a wholesale basis. When the plan was suggested as a solution of his unemployment problem, he quickly exclaimed, "I like the idea, but I would not know how to turn it into cash." In other words, he complained that he would not know how to market his bookkeeping knowledge after he acquired it. So,
Yo, I was in a little similar pickle.
that brought up another problem which had to be solved. With the aid of a young woman typist, clever at hand lettering, and who could put the story together, a very attractive book was prepared, describing the advantages of the new system of bookkeeping. The pages were neatly typed and pasted in an ordinary scrapbook, which was used as a silent salesman with which the story of this new business was so effectively told that its owner soon had more accounts than he could handle. There are thousands of people all over the country who need the services of a merchandising specialist capable of preparing an attractive brief for use in marketing personal services. The aggregate annual income from such a service might
You know what that means? The aggregate annual income, put it together, from such a service.
easily exceed that received by the largest employment agency, and the benefits of the service might be made far greater to the purchaser than any to be obtained from an employment agency. The idea here described was born of necessity, to bridge an emergency which had to be covered, but it did not stop by merely serving
I like how it has like you know what I'm saying? Like if it's doing this, it's important. The idea, just like that, bro. Just like the idea. Run it back, man.
agency. The idea here described was born of necessity, to bridge an emergency which had to be covered, but it did not stop by merely serving one person. The woman who created the idea has a keen imagination. She saw in her newly born brainchild the making of a new profession, one that is destined to render valuable service to thousands of people who need practical guidance in marketing personal services. Spurred to action by the instantaneous success of her first prepared plan to market personal services, this energetic woman turned next to the solution of a similar problem for her son, who had just finished college, but had been totally unable to find a market for his services. The plan she originated for his use was the finest specimen of merchandising of personal services I have ever seen. When the plan book had been completed, it contained nearly 50 pages of beautifully typed, properly organized information, telling the story of her son's native ability, schooling, personal experiences, and a great variety of other information too extensive for description. The plan book also contained a complete description of the position her son desired, together with a marvelous word picture of the exact plan he would use in filling the position. The preparation of the plan book required several weeks' labor, during which time its creator sent her son to the public library almost daily to procure data needed in selling his services to best advantage. She sent him also to all the competitors of his prospective employer, and gathered from them vital information concerning their business methods, which was of great value in the formation of the plan he intended to use in filling the position he sought. When the plan had been finished, it contained more than half a dozen very fine suggestions for the use and benefit of the prospective employer. The suggestions were put into use by the company. One may be inclined to ask, why go to all this trouble to secure a job? The answer is straight to the point, Also, it is dramatic because it deals with a subject which assumes the proportion of a tragedy with millions of men and women whose sole source of income is personal services. The answer is, doing a thing well never is trouble. The plan prepared by this woman for the benefit of her son helped him get the job for which he applied at the first interview at a salary fixed by himself. Moreover, and this too is important, the position did not require the young man to start at the bottom. He began as a junior executive at an executive salary. Why go to all this trouble, do you ask? Well, for one thing, the planned presentation of this young man's application for a position clipped off no less than 10 years of time he would have required to get to where he began had he started at the bottom and worked his way up.
That boy saved 10 years, bro. That boy saved 10 years. That's wild, bro.
This idea of starting at the bottom and working one's way up may appear to be sound, but the major objection to it is this. Too many of those who begin at the bottom never manage to lift their heads high enough to be seen by opportunity, so they remain at the bottom. It should be remembered also that the outlook from the bottom is not so very bright or encouraging. It has a tendency to kill off ambition.
Yes, bro. Being at the bottom is just like, I might as well just stay here, bro. This is fine. Yo, being at the bottom tends to, bro.
We call it getting into a rut, which
We call it getting into a rut. It has a tendency to kill off ambition. We call it getting into a rut, which means that we accept our fate because we form the habit of the daily routine, a habit that finally becomes so strong we cease to try to throw it off.
means that we accept our fate because we form the habit of daily routine, a habit that finally becomes so strong we cease to try to throw it off. And that is another reason why it pays to start 1 or 2 steps above the bottom. By so doing, one forms the habit of looking around, of observing how others get ahead, of seeing opportunity, and of embracing it without hesitation. Dan Halpin is a splendid example of what I mean. During his college days, he was manager of the famous 1930 National Championship Notre Dame football team when it was under the direction of the late Knute Rockne. Perhaps he was inspired by the great football coach to aim high and not mistake temporary defeat for failure, just as Andrew Carnegie, the great industrial leader, inspired his young business lieutenants to set high goals for themselves. At any rate, young Halpin finished college at a mighty unfavorable time when the Depression had made jobs scarce. So, after a fling at investment banking and motion pictures, he took the first opening with a potential future he could find, selling electrical hearing aids on a commission basis. Anyone could start in that sort of job, and Halpin knew it, but it was enough to open the door of opportunity to him.
Anyone could start in that sort of job, and Halpin knew it. But it was enough to open the door of opportunity to him.
For almost 2 years, he continued in a job not to his liking, and he would never have risen above that job if he had not done something about his dissatisfaction. He aimed first at the job of assistant sales manager of his company and got the job. That one step upward placed him high enough above the crowd to enable him to see still greater opportunity. Also, it placed him where opportunity could see him. He made such a fine record selling hearing aids that A.M. Andrews, chairman of the board of the Dictograph Products Company, a business competitor of the company for which Halpin worked, wanted to know something about that man Dan Halpin, who was taking big sales away from the long-established Dictograph Company. He sent for Halpin. When the interview was over, Halpin was the new sales manager in charge of the Acousticon division. Then, to test young Halpin's mettle, Mr. Andrews went away to Florida for 3 months, leaving him to sink or swim in his new job. He did not sink. Knute Rockne's spirit of "all the world loves a winner and has no time for a loser" inspired him to put so much into his job that he was recently elected vice president.
I got another idea, gang. I had to write it down. If I don't write it down, I think it would just be in my head, just doodle bopping. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, bro. I like where this is going, though. One thing I'm asking myself is how we gonna make this money by tomorrow. I don't get that. I get that answer, but I want to ask myself how we gonna get this money by the next 6 months. A different sort of answers come up. Yeah, and that's what I'm writing down. How to get this money by tomorrow? Nah, gang. Come on now, we can't go that route, bro. Trust me, bro. Don't go that route. Go to 6 months route. You feel me?
Of the company and general manager of the Acousticon and Silent.
He became general manager. General manager of the Acousticon. Must be nice.
Knute Rockne's spirit of "all the world loves a winner and has no time for a loser" inspired him to put so much into his job that he was recently elected vice president of the company and general manager of the Acousticon and Silent Radio division, a job which most men would be proud to earn through 10 years of loyal effort.
10 years, gang.
Falling,
Oh my god.
dreaming.
How long these niggas think we living for, bro? Nobody want to be at a spot for 10 years and then get a raise, promotion, and maybe that is the norm, bro. But I got this type of mindset. Like, I'm not going, bro. I'm gonna try to figure out how to get this money by tomorrow. For me, I'm gonna try to figure out how to move up faster. So I'm liking what I'm reading right now because it's possible. It's not for everybody. Some people, they like being at the bottom. Some people can't stand being at the bottom. Come on now. Figure out how to get this money by tomorrow, man.
Halpin turned the trick in little more than 6 months. It is difficult to say whether Mr. Andrews or Mr. Halpin is more deserving of eulogy, for the reason that
Eulogy? What that mean, man? What does that mean for real? What does eulogy mean?
A eulogy is a short speech you give at a funeral or memorial where you talk about the person's life, their qualities, and what they meant to others.
Your voice changed. Why?
Oh, just keeping things varied so it doesn't get monotonous. Same info, same voice, still me.
Well, you don't have the same voice. You changed the voice, but I like it. You feel me? Like, I like the switch up.
Got it. I can keep it steady if you prefer.
Yeah, definitely keep it.
Just let me know.
Definitely keep
Yeah.
it steady. Let's get the British guy out here.
Copy that. Sticking with this voice.
No, British. Go British on him.
Right, I'll do a British lilt just this bit. A eulogy is when you speak fondly of
Male.
someone's
Oh my
life
gosh.
at a funeral.
Can I get a male British guy?
Oh, male? Checking now. Hang on. I can't directly change the specific voice here, but if your app has a British male voice option, you can select it in the voice settings. And I'll keep writing a way
Oh
that
my
matches that.
gosh. What did she say? What? Like, it's tripping, bro. Switching voices up is crazy. Alright, anyways.
both showed evidence of
Oh, eulogy when you talk about somebody after they die. Or say no more. it's difficult to say whether Mr. Andrews or Mr. Halpin is more deserving of a eulogy. For the reasons that both.
Halpin is more deserving of eulogy, for the reason that both showed evidence of having an abundance of that very rare quality known as imagination.
Imagination. Every SpongeBob, bro, been trying to put a song. Y'all just saying, listen. Excuse me, cuh.
Mr. Andrews deserves credit for seeing, in young Halpin, a go-getter of the highest order. Halpin deserves credit for refusing to compromise with life by accepting and keeping a job he did not want. And that is one of the major points I'm trying to emphasize through
refusing to compromise with life by accepting and keeping a job he did not want.
Halpin deserves credit for refusing to compromise with life by accepting and keeping a job he did not want. And that is one of the major points I'm trying to emphasize through this entire philosophy, that we rise to high positions or remain at the bottom because of conditions we can control if we desire to control them. I am also trying to emphasize.
Bro, I did. This happened to me once. One time, I was working at a spot, and I was doing something so, like, everybody could do it. And I was, like, pressing a button. All I had to do was press a button for 12 straight hours, bro. Just press a button. Beep, 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 beep. Same spot. Don't move. Can't check your phone. Just press the button. And I'm like, bro, you think I'm what, a robot? No, dude. And I stopped the supervisor. And I was like, hey, I know this is my first day and all, but I am way smarter than just pressing a button. Like, you can do more with me. You feel me? Like, come on, bro. And I think now that I think about it, I was probably the only one who stopped, found the supervisor, and it's like, hey, bro, no, not me, bro. Maybe that guy, but not this guy. And, bro, he said, oh yeah? Okay, bet. I'll be back. He left, came back, bro. Switch position, bro. Put me somewhere where I was like dealing with computers, bro. Troubleshooting.
Hey, who made this beat?
Fire, bro. Best thing I could have done was spoke out. I spoke out. Best thing they could have done was move me to an area where I could use my brain, problem solve, because that's what troubleshooting is. I was there for 2 years, gang. Like, it was straight, bro. It was good. It was good. It was good. It was fire, bro. Just a little something, bro. You feel me? But that me, though. If that ain't your vibe, then you stay at the bottom. Stay your ass at the bottom then, bro. Stay your ass at the bottom then, bro. I can't help you, bro. I'm trying to.
Do you love the way I do when I'm loving your body?
I'm trying to tell you, lock it in, bro, or you gonna get locked out. Okay, I'm trying to tell you.
Emphasize another point.
Emphasize another point. Also trying to emphasize another point. Emphasize it, bro.
Or remain at the bottom because of conditions we can control if we desire to control them.
Yeah, word.
I am also trying to emphasize another point, namely that both success and failure are largely the results of habit.
That's fact. That's fact, Jack.
I have not the slightest doubt that Dan Halpin's close association with the greatest football coach America ever knew planted in his mind the same brand of desire to excel which made the Notre Dame football team world famous. Truly, there is something to the idea that hero worship is helpful, provided one worships a winner. Halpin tells me that Rockne was one of the world's greatest leaders of men in all history. My belief in the theory that business associations are vital factors both in failure and in success, was recently demonstrated when my son Blair was negotiating with Dan Halpin for a position. Mr. Halpin offered him a beginning salary of about 1/2 what he could have gotten from a rival company. I brought parental pressure to bear and induced him to accept the place with Mr. Halpin because I believe that close association with one who refuses to compromise with circumstances he does not like is an asset that can never be measured in terms of money.
Oh, nah. He's cooking, bro. Chef Boyardee right now. I believe that close association with one who refuses to compromise with circumstances he does not like is an asset that can never be measured in terms of money. He's probably going to explain what this means as you keep reading. But right now, I gotta say, I was working this one job that I did not like anymore. It was chill at first and got really boring. And that forced me to think differently. Think about, man, what can I do with this time that I'm at this job? There's a lot of downtime. I'm bored. Then I came up with an idea. And that idea created millions of views. Some money. And maybe even created the future, like a bigger idea. Insane. Because I didn't want to be there, but I kept going. And while I was there, I was like, bro, I gotta figure out how to get this money by tomorrow. And that I did. You feel me? Word. This, he gonna have to run that back. Run that back, Margo. On the booty.
I believe that close association with one who refuses to compromise with circumstances he does not like is an asset that can never be measured in terms of money.
That's good, bro.
The bottom is a monotonous, dreary, unprofitable place for any person.
That's horrible words right there. The bottom is a monotonous, dreary. Like all that is just like dark and gloomy, bro. The bottom. That's the bottom, gang. I don't know about you. I don't want to be at the bottom, bro. I don't want to be. That's why I'm not, bro. I'm not. If I am, I found my way to the top pretty fucking fast, gang. Word.
That is why I have taken the time to describe how lowly beginnings may be circumvented by proper planning. Also, that is why so much space has been devoted to a description of this new profession, created by a woman who was inspired to do a fine job of planning because she wanted her son to have.
Created by a woman who was inspired to do a fine job of planning because she wanted her son to be favorable, to have a favorable break. Planning. Imagine if you read it in, imagine if the person reading was the person who wrote the book. You talking about feeling an emotion. He for sure finna feel it and emotionalize it the way it's supposed to be. You feel me? Felt. I ain't gonna lie, I cooked with that. I cooked with that sentence. Nigga, I ain't gonna lie.
Have a favorable to do a fine job of planning.
I couldn't just let that slide. I cooked with that sentence.
This new profession, created by a woman who was inspired to do a fine job of planning because she wanted her son to have a favorable break. With the changed conditions ushered in by the world economic collapse, came also the need for newer and better ways of marketing personal services. It is hard to determine why someone had not previously discovered this stupendous need, in view of the fact that more money changes hands in return for personal services than for any other purpose. The sum paid out monthly to people who work for wages and salaries is so huge that it runs into hundreds of millions, and the annual distribution amounts to billions.
Did you say billions? What?
Perhaps some will find, in the idea here briefly described, the nucleus of the riches they desire. Ideas with much less merit have been the seedlings from which great fortunes have grown. Woolworth's 5 and 10 cent store idea, for example, had far less merit, but it piled up a fortune for its creator. Those seeing opportunity lurking in this suggestion will find valuable aid in the chapter on organized planning.
This is making sense to me, bro. That's what I'm telling you. Your ideas are supposed to be popping up. That's why I'm like, bro, I can't lock in because I'm getting all these visions and ideas. Oh my god, bro. And I'm writing them down. These ideas that are coming from this book wouldn't and couldn't have come from any other. Now, if I say that, that'd be super weird because then that'll make it, if we never open this book up, I never would have had what I'm about to have. This shit gets deep, bro. Really does. Really does. We have to run that back. I don't know about y'all, but I'm in it, bro.
Piled up a fortune for its creator. Those seeing opportunity lurking in this suggestion
I am seeing opportunity.
will find valuable aid in the chapter on organized planning.
Like, now I'm already lit. I can't wait for organized planning because if this was like you're supposed to get ideas, I got ideas. Now I'm about to show you how to plan it. And now I get the man. Come on, bro. Come on, we might really be on to something, bro. For real, for real.
Incidentally, an efficient merchandiser of personal services would find a growing demand for his services wherever there are men and women who seek better markets for their services. By applying the mastermind principle, a few people with suitable talent could form an alliance and have a paying business very quickly. One would need to be a fair writer with a flair for advertising and selling, one handy at typing and hand lettering, and one should be a first-class business getter who would let the world know about the service. If one person possessed all these abilities, he might carry on the business alone until it outgrew him.
Okay, hold on. So these are like things to, by applying the mastermind principle, a few people with suitable talent could learn from in alliance and have a paying business very quick. One would need to be a fair writer. And these are like the other things that each person would need to be in a mastermind. No more than 5 people. 5 people with an idea could start a business, bro. And they can start making the balloons really quick. I believe that. Damn, bro. I'm turned up right now. I'm fired up.
I be popping bottles, sparkles and champagne.
Soon we're gonna be popping. Come on now, soon. I understand it now.
The woman who prepared the personal service sales plan for her son now receives requests from all parts of the country for her cooperation in preparing similar plans.
I feel like I was tuned out at the beginning of this part of her explaining to her son like why he whatever I understood he got the good job, but because of what she did, and what she did was make him go to the library, get right, and probably that's the story. But like, and when I say that, I mean there's probably nothing more. Like, I just basically said it. I just feel like I tuned out. Like the beginning, I was thinking about ideas, bro. How can you not? How can you not, bro? Ideas. Look, bro. Look at the page. What do you see? Imagination. What the flipping flounders, bro? Imagination. Ideas. Imagination. Organized plans. Imagination. Ideas. Yeah, bro. Cause nah, bro, we might. They be putting some in these. Let me find out they putting some in the books. No, they putting something in the books for sure. Nah, bro. I just never seen it like this. I don't think you feel me right now. Too slow. I don't think you feel me right now, boy. I don't.
For others who
Run that back, man. Where you at, bro?
desire to market their personal services for more money. She has a staff of expert typists, artists, and writers who have the ability to dramatize the case history so effectively that one's personal services can be marketed for much more money than the prevailing wages for similar services. She is so confident of her ability that she accepts, as the major portion of her fee, a percentage of the increased pay she helps her clients to earn. It must not be supposed that her plan merely consists of clever salesmanship by which she helps men and women to demand and receive more money for the same services they formerly sold for less pay. She looks after the interests of the purchaser as well as the seller of personal services, and so prepares her plans that the employer receives full value for the additional money he pays. The method by which she accomplishes this astonishing result is a professional secret which she discloses to no one, excepting her own clients. If you have the imagination and seek a more profitable outlet for your personal services, this suggestion may be the stimulus for which you have been searching. The idea is capable of yielding an income far greater than that of the average doctor, lawyer, or engineer whose education required several years in college. The idea is saleable to those seeking new positions, in practically all positions calling for managerial or executive ability, and those desiring rearrangement of incomes in their present positions. There is no fixed price for sound ideas.
You know what that means? That means you get a lot of money.
All this money on me make me wanna poop.
You get a lot of money from ideas, bro. There's no fixed income. There's no cap on ideas, bro. What are you talking about? For me?
Back of all ideas is specialized knowledge. Unfortunately, for those who do not find riches in abundance, specialized knowledge is more abundant and more easily acquired than ideas. Because of this very truth, there is a universal demand and an ever-increasing opportunity for the person capable of helping men and women to sell their personal services advantageously. Capability means imagination, the one quality needed to combine specialized knowledge with ideas in the form of organized plans designed to yield riches.
Imagination, ideas, organize them. You're up. You're welcome. Have a good day. Have a good day, my friend.
If you have imagination, this chapter may present you with an idea sufficient to serve as the beginning of the riches you desire.
I wrote down three just off reading the chapter. I'm like, I don't know why these popping up in my head, bro. I can't even focus on the book. I wrote down 3. Man, come on, bro. He talking about if you have an imagination, this chapter may present you with an idea. It did. How would he know that? How does he know? These niggas are smart, bro. They're good, bro.
Remember, the idea is the main thing. Specialized knowledge may be found just around the corner. Any corner.
Ooh.
Chapter
We on chapter 6, bro. He said, specialized knowledge may be found. Run that back. Specialized knowledge may be found just around the corner. Any corner. That was good. I ain't gonna say too much. I ain't gonna do too much. Thank you for watching. Let me up. We're gonna jump into chapter 6 because it's lit. You feel me? But we can't do it right now because you gotta let this digest, bro. You gotta let this. I gotta let it digest. You feel me? Like specialized knowledge, ideas, imagination. I applied for. I didn't get the job at McDonald's. Right? Okay. Because I can't put the fries in the back. Alright, bet. But I did apply at another spot. We might get that one in the bag. You know, I don't know anymore. I just had to give it all up. You feel me? Like, let me give it up to the Almighty. You feel me, bro? Because like, gang, I don't know, bro. I was worrying and worrying and worrying. Sometimes you just gotta give it up, bro. Hey, I can't do nothing about it. I tell you one thing though, my car died yesterday. Battery said, "See you never." And I said, "What?" But you open the hood, battery look, because I keep my car clean, brand new, but it's not. I mean, technically it's not. It's not brand new. It just looked brand new. Gang, it was just crazy. You feel me? The battery died in front of the temp service that I went to go apply for because we need the money. It died in front of the. What are the odds? Like, I'm trying to get a job and the car gonna die. And I said, dang. Called one friend, picked me up. Went to O'Reilly's AutoZone. Homie was like, "This is under warranty. You can get a free battery." Long story short, got a free battery. I wasn't stressing. When it happened, I'm like, oh, gang. It just be like that. What do I walk home? Call a friend. What should I do? I'm down to walk home. I'm down to call a friend. I just wasn't worried, bro. But if I was worried, I feel like it wouldn't have been such a smooth transaction to finding out, hey, yo, this battery's under warranty. You forgot? Of course I forget. Of course I forgot. It's not like I'm walking around with the receipt in my pocket. Of course I forgot. Yeah. It's under warranty. Here's the new one. Thank you, bro. Just wanted to share that. I don't know. This is good stuff, bro. Sometimes you gotta give your problems to a higher power, because you can't do it all by yourself. And that right there, that's a fact.
Hey, who made this beat?
Hey.